Okay, a pleasant good evening to everyone out there who's listening. I had a couple of my students asking some details about the changes that they are seeing circulating on the internet and on the Ministry of Education's website. Um, Now, as you all know, last year, when students had to write whether it be CSEC or CAPE exams in 2020, there was a lot of changes where they had to write multiple choice exams and so on. Also, there was a lot of talk about the results not being favorable, etc. You all remember that period of time, right? I think honestly, right now, a lot of people are still trying to query, even though that period has closed off, because honestly, even myself as a teacher, I can't. Some students' results, the SBA marks were substantially excellent, and I just can't understand how some students got the results they got, knowing them from Form 1 as avid performers and having them come out from the exam uh, texting me and saying, they got this as the answer. They could remember the question went like this, and what do you think the answer is? I think I got it correct, miss. And and then they got the results they got, and it just didn't add up. However, this year is a new year. We are in the year 2021 of our Lord, and uh, the Ministry of Education has revealed some new changes that will be taking place. So, to all my students out there, here's as much as I know. I think, honestly, all teachers as well are as new to this information as you are. We are only just hearing this. So we are trying our best to piece together the information as fast as we receive it and trying to internalize what it means. Okay, so as you can see on screen, this is just a clip that the Ministry of Education has shared. Um, the Ministry of Education takes the opportunity to advise the public on the decisions taken by meetings held on March the 1st of this year regarding CSEC and KEEP. And after the end of that meeting, they came to the following consensus that the examinations will consist of the papers, paper 1, 2, and 3, paper 3 being that SBA paper. So we are definitely not going to only have a multiple choice format as in last year. So we are going to have standardized base exams. And they are also saying to take note that changes to the SPA requirements for 2021 have already been communicated to schools. So there have been minor, very minor changes to SBAs, to be honest. So you all would have known about those few changes already. And also any pushback, there's been a pushback for the exam period where it's going to take place June, July. Usually it's earlier, like May, June. Sometimes students have orals in April or, but this year it's definitely going to be pushed back. So you all are going to have pretty much a full term tree to revise. So that's one good thing. As well as because you would be writing the exam so late, the results from that exam would be released, they are saying, in the last week of September, whereby usually you know that you would need to have your results ready for applications to tertiary education. And I am guessing, I would like to believe that obviously UE is aware of this, as well as internationally, those of you who are keen on perhaps getting into international university. I am sure across the world, everyone is aware of the effects of, this whole new normal that has taken place. And I'm sure registration process is also pushed back as well. So it's not like tertiary education is unaware of what's taking place. And it won't be you standing alone registering late because you have received late results. It's the entire community of students literally they are not going to have year ones until, of course, you know, very late. If results are to come out in the last week of September. So if I were you, I wouldn't be so concerned. Yes, you feel like you are losing time, essential time as a individual and as a young adult, and that is true. However, it's happening across the board to everyone. So we are actually all in this together, if you think about it. So yeah, that's with respect to thinking ahead with respect to tertiary education. Now on to some more features. Zoning in on a date, even though they said June, July 2021, I got some info that a date that they are hoping to really start exams is around June the 14th, so probably the middle of June, somewhere around there. And with respect to the paper 2, the paper 2 is not going to contain optional items. You know, usually some subjects you would have like you choose question 5 or question 6. There's going to be no options. Instead, what they are attempting to do is to examine all the broad topics, right? They want to examine the broad topics. So if I am assuming, well, for maths and add maths and pure maths, right? You guys know we have module 1, 2, and 3. We have a wide syllabus. And for those of you who are writing Csec maths, you have about 10 core topics in your syllabus or so. And what I understand is that they will be testing all topics in paper 1 as well as paper 3 for those private candidates. So you do need to know and be able to apply all content of your syllabus across the board. So for those of you who are getting a little bit excited that you may have to just really focus or zone into a few topics, I don't want to burst the bubble, but you do need to know all your topics because they are being tested in that paper 1 and paper 3 if you are a private candidate. But what they are going to do to help is that apparently 5 weeks, they're saying 5 weeks before the start of, I guess, in the first exam, right? They are going to release, the ministry is planning to release the broad topics that are actually going to be present in your paper 2, right? So I am guessing that they're trying to help you focus for the paper 2, which is a structured written paper. That's their way of helping, where yes, you would have the knowledge of the full content in the syllabus, but you'll be able to like focus like on the main ones that they say are coming for sure. So now you could breathe a sigh of relief that you're kind of sure and you're kind of keen when you walk into the exam room. Whew, well, I know for sure, you know, algebra is coming, or I know for sure we're going to get a vectors question. So I really spent a lot of time on that. Breathe a sigh of relief. Whew, matrices is not coming. So I could just hold off on revising that, spending so much time on that. Maybe I'll go through that for the paper 1, you understand? So guys, I think it's a great help. And the reason why I believe they are withholding this information until 5 weeks before, it's a smart move, because at the end of the day, you don't want students to only learn and only expose themselves to certain aspects of the syllabus, because eventually, for those of you who are doing Csec Add Maths, when you want to move forward into doing CAPE or A-level math, there are foundation topics that you do need to know. You know how to differentiate. What if differentiation is not coming in paper 2 in Add Maths, and you don't revise it ever? Well, then what happens when you have to go do CAPE maths and you have never done differentiation or never revised it properly? What's going to happen, right? So I understand the strategy with the ministry releasing those broad topics 5 weeks before. It's to allow the students to avidly know and understand their full content of the syllabus. It's just to help you guys focus on zoning. Kind of like if you had to write a coursework, you know, miss, well, I know you do 10 topics, but could you just tell us which like 2 or 3 of them come in for sure in the exam so we could focus on those? So that's what I believe it is. Don't quote me on this. I'm not 100% sure. Like I said, all teachers are pretty much in the same boat as the students with respect to we are receiving the same circulars and information that you guys are seeing as well being circulated. Okay. Also, very, very important. I had some students ask me about the deferrals. So they are saying that students will be given the option up to May 2021. I heard someone said the date is the 1st of May for the latest, but I could be wrong about that. Don't quote me on it, but I would say if you would like to defer from writing exams in May 2021, that you definitely do it the month before me, all right? So that's April. So you can defer your exam dates to next year without any penalties. And of course, if you did your SBA, you can transfer those grades to next year. So how does that help you as a student? Well, if you have been an offline student and you have never been able to access proper classes or have somebody at home help you out or give you lessons or something, and you are completely unprepared for this exam and you're not ready, I think the better option for students in this category would be to defer because you would be at a disadvantage. However, for those online students who have been able to take online lessons and you have been working with your teacher, and because of technology, you have actually had an advantage to move faster, with being online and so on, then I would suggest that you don't defer because you would be set back just a tad bit. Of course, what are you going to do within that year? Nobody has really spoken about what is happening to a student who is first to write the exam next year. I am wondering if it is that those students would be now in repeating the whole year in a classroom when physical classes do open. Is it that they join back a group of students? Is it that perhaps they have to do it at home on their own? How are they going to get classes for the classes they missed? What's going to happen in that year of deferral with those students? I can't say because we have not gotten that full bit of information, but they are saying you can defer, right? So there's that part of it that you really need to think about. Does deferral mean that you would be having classes with a teacher somehow? So those are some key things to consider. Now, of course, lastly, UE has obviously been notified of all the changes that the ministry has made. So UE obviously will extend matriculation for 1 year further to allow entry of CAPE students into UE for the beginning of the academic year. And it's going to be based on a year 1 CAPE results because obviously, like I said, the results for if you are in upper 6, your results would be coming out all the way at the last week in September. So they would be looking at your year 1 CAPE results. So for those of you who already have it, of course, you could probably go ahead and find out what the submission process for that is. Let me see what other bit I have. Somebody just messaged me something here. Final timetable will be uploaded on the CXC website before. Okay, so right. So CXC will upload final timetables and officialize that if it has not already been uploaded. This is the final decision that has been taken. No more changes will be made to the administration of exams and how it's going to be taken place. Okay, so guys, as far as I know, that's all of the changes that I have heard from other teachers as well as from what I've read or heard on the news. I hope that helps you guys. If you have any other questions, I hope I can be of help to answer, but I only know as much as I have said on this video. So if I know anything else, I'll be sure to perhaps mention it on the WhatsApp group. All right, guys, so rest your head, rest easy, take a breath, know how to space yourself out. just because they're saying, 5 weeks before, they're going to tell you the core topics that are coming in paper 2. Please do not get sidetracked by that. 5 weeks is not a lot of time when you have 8 subjects plus to write. Okay, so you should be revising from now. You should have already finished up or be tying up loose ends on your SPAs and labs, etc. So I hope with that said that you guys are making the best of what you have, and across the board, from my home to yours, I hope that you guys are finding a way to relax your minds from everything that's taking place. I know it's a lot. It is a lot to take in. Personally, it's so new for me as well. Sometimes it's a lot for myself as a teacher, so I can only imagine how it is for these students, guys. So we are all in on this together, and just always know that your teachers are there for you, waiting to answer any questions you may have if we have the solutions to those questions. So don't ever feel like you're alone in the world on this, our new normal, right, guys? So I'm looking forward to well, hearing from you guys later on in my WhatsApp group. And I hope that you guys take care. All the best. And I'll see you guys soon. Bye bye.